Now I invite Mr. Phil Taylor. His radio program Taylor Report carries regular features on South Asia. His radio journalism is known for informed analysis. Over to Mr. Taylor.
Um, Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. I'm very grateful that to be part of a distinguished panel. It is, I think, an accomplishment that we, again, are having an event such as this. I've participated in some previous, and I want to, by the way, call out to everyone's attention the really zealous work of Brother Zafar Bengash, who has been the leading voice and certainly has total command, as the lawyers say, of the file on this matter. And I've never felt discussing this that I would be wrong-footed by any opponent, because Zafar has always been so thorough and so principled in stating the case, and as so far the other panelists. There's a proverb that long will the bitter morsel be chewed, and here we are. We already have the solution. We had a United Nations resolution, and all these years later, the people of Kashmir have to suffer the presence of an immense army. I've always been staggered at the figures of 900,000 Indian troops. To do what? To deprive a people of their right to self-determination, to take from them the right to a plebiscite, which was promised to them by the United Nations. It is indeed a bitter morsel, but I do think that it is evident that you cannot carry on all these years denying something which you asked for, as in this case, India. There's a joke that someone said that this man is so stubborn and so ignorant, he won't take yes for an answer. India asked for this. The answer was yes. And then they decided they didn't want to ask that anymore. So we're talking about someone or a state that is in a rather pathetic situation, because they themselves put their finger on the solution, and the solution will remain. It cannot be chased away by troops. It cannot be, you cannot sit on a people for all these years without educating them totally to their need to exercise their rights. I've said in the past, I believe that the Kashmiri people already enjoy in their hearts freedom, because they've indicated what it is they want, and all that is left to the world is to live up to the United Nations Charter. And that, you could say, is the rub. And as Brother Zafar pointed out, we are up against great power arrogance, which believes it can turn away its face to a problem, and that the problem will go away. Actually, what's going to happen is that the people of Kashmir will be free. They will exercise their right to self-determination. And those powers that are standing in their way will be lesser powers as a result of having stood in their way. Now, recently, early December, President Biden he put together a conference he called the Summit for Democracy. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us to say to the Canadian people and to the Western powers, you want to have a summit for democracy, you want to renew humanity's struggle for freedom, let's begin with Kashmir. Let us see that this happens. I think that they have, again, like India, they've talked themselves into a corner. The world's people are ready for democracy. Up and down the hemisphere we live in, there's been election after election now in formerly colonized countries where they are asserting themselves in a democratic manner, electing presidents, electing Congresses, but all of them are successful because they are asserting their sovereignty as people over and against the old colonial system. We're living where we have a constitutional, a UN charter, which protects all these rights. And then we have narrow-minded, bigoted, great powers, which are trying to block. But that democracy they wanted to have a summit about is unfolding. And I'm confident that we're going to reach a time in a not distant future where those countries are going to be affirming to the people of Kashmir, yes, you have to have a plebiscite. The 900,000 soldiers must be removed from Kashmir. Again, that's in writing. We're not making this up. Those 900,000 will have to be away when the people assert their democratic rights. And I agree, Karen, I wanted to say, and others actually mentioned his name, but Canadians have to be told over and over. General MacNaughton, probably the most respected military figure in the history of Canada, and certainly was turned into a marvelous diplomat. Generals don't usually turn into good diplomats, but he was a wonderful diplomat. And his contribution really began with respect for the people of Kashmir and for Pakistan, because he saw the parties as equal, which was kind of a surprise to people. And Canada at one time followed that model, where it was understood that sovereign countries are equal, that freedom is indivisible, that people are addressed with respect, and that peace can be achieved if you do that. And General MacNaughton played a really outstanding role. There ought to be a statue of him in Ottawa and Toronto and Montreal, elsewhere, just because he helped put us on the road to solving this issue of the self-determination of Kashmir. I would just remind everyone something that I always keep in my head that Victor Hugo said, nothing can stop nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. And the idea of self-determination and democracy for the people of Kashmir, that time has come. And lastly, another great president of our hemisphere, President Juarez of Mexico, said, with mutual respect, you have peace. And the people of Kashmir have to be respected. And it's written there in the UN resolution. Let us respect it and proceed democracy with democracy for peace in Kashmir. Now, thank you very much.